Giants! I'm Pat Mayo, and let me get you caught up on everything that happened in fantasy football that you need to know going into week number 2. Puka LAR has been placed on injured reserve with a sprained right PCL. This was a re-aggravation of the injury he sustained during training camp, and now he's going to be out at least 4 games. I say at least because this injury could be even longer than that. Cooper Kupp is going to be a top 5 receiver going forward. Demarcus Robinson is the number 1 wide receiver pickup of the week, and Tyler Johnson down the list, and Colby Parkinson at tight end are 2 guys that you can play in deeper leagues. Parkinson's actually in like 12-team leagues. You'd probably be fine with him on your roster, especially if you need someone to replace if your tight end either sucks, which was like everyone, or got hurt this week, where you definitely need someone to go fill in. I have a cheat sheet for the pickups of the week down in the description right now. I update it with the injury report every single day, so if you just want to click on that, boom, you'll be off to the races and know who to pick up. All right? Recapping Monday Night Football. Obviously, Christian McCaffrey did not play in that game. Apparently they knew on Friday, at least according to Jordan Mason. I really don't care. That sucks if you had CMC. Hopefully you were smart enough to watch yesterday's show with Jake Seeley before the game and be like, hey, you need to have Jordan Mason just in case something happens to Christian McCaffrey. Mason was awesome because this offensive line is awesome. Trent Williams came back but had to leave the game. He wasn't in the best condition. He had to go get himself an IV. Didn't matter. They ran all over the Jets. Really wouldn't have too many takeaways from the Jet side outside of when Aaron Rodgers is on the field. He doesn't look decrepit, which is great news. Seeing the Jets complete a 10-yard pass down the field and making it seem like not a monumental achievement is just wild for the Jets after the past few years. So their offense is going to be fine. They don't have to play the 49ers every single week, but it's very clear he wants to throw to 2 guys, Garrett Wilson and Breece Hall, and that's it. Allen Lazard put up the gaudy numbers in that game, but that was mainly due to he got 1 from Aaron Rodgers late after they were down 3 scores, and he got another from Tyrod after they said, you know what, Aaron? Good enough for Monday night. Why don't you go take a seat on the bench? We'll get Tyrod in the game. So Lazard will be the second guy as long as Mike Williams continues to be banged up. Mike Williams barely played in this game. When they said he was on a snap count, he most definitely was. So keep an eye on him moving forward. Once Mike Williams is healthy, you'll see more of him on the field over Allen Lazard. They might even try to play a 3 wide receiver set. Call me crazy. And then maybe Lazard gets on the field with the 2 of them, or maybe they end up rotating and splitting snaps. Maybe Williams plays more inside each of the 20s. Lazard in between the 20s in the middle of the field, and then Garrett Wilson is always on. But Wilson and Hall are very clearly studs. Everyone else is like, you probably don't want too many Jets on your team. Big news for Thursday Night Football. Devin Achane and Raheem Mostert theoretically did not practice on Monday because the team didn't actually practice. But both these injuries were not disclosed after the game on Sunday against the Jags. So it sounds like Achane is at more risk of missing this game than Mostert. There's still hope that both are going to play. Obviously, Tuesday is going to be very telling, and then Wednesday for sure. But if they're both at limited practice on Tuesday, you can feel better about it. But Jeff Wilson would become the instant pickup in this situation, and then rookie Jalen Wright would be the other one who was inactive during week 1. But keep an eye on those 2 guys. Again, the pickup rankings down in the description right now. Jake Ferguson will work with the return to play group during week 2. He's going to try to get in. It looks like it's going to be some sort of knee sprain again for him. A lot like Jordan Love, a lot like Puka LAR, but just less serious. I'd expect him to be out 2 to 3 weeks. This is where Colby Parkinson can really come in handy for you. He's widely available. You can go pick him up if you really want to. Josh Allen has been cleared to play with his hand injury and is going to start on Thursday Night Football against the Miami Dolphins. Odunze, the Italian man. It's a grade 1 knee sprain. That's week to week. That's not good. He's going to miss some time, so it's probably you weren't playing Rome anyway, but if you thought the breakout was coming, you have to push that back a little bit more. Keenan Allen, we don't have an update on his status at all. If Odunze misses time, they might play more 2 tight end sets because we did see Gerald Everett play almost double the snaps of Cole Kmet in week 1, although he really didn't run any routes whatsoever. You get both of them on the field, then Kmet's value does increase. After that, it's DeAndre Carter who would be the next man up. He ran the 4th most routes at receiver of anyone on the Bears in week 1. After that, it was Velus Jones Jr., who's operating more as a running back than a wide receiver. So we'll see if they make any personnel moves, but it would be DeAndre Carter for deeper leagues. They play the Texans on Sunday Night Football, and hopefully their offense looks a little bit better than it did on Sunday because it was trash. Very bad. Very bad offense, Caleb Williams. Hopefully in week 2, gets a little bit better. Darius Slayton is in concussion protocol for the Giants. The only guy that you need to worry about on that team is Malik Neighbors, or maybe you're desperate and need to get some Devin Singletary in your life. But here's why the Giants suck. Neighbors, 0 red zone targets. Wendell Robinson, 4 red zone targets. Yeah, didn't really come up with anything now, did he? Why don't you throw to Malik Neighbors, the guy that you drafted, not mini-man Wendell Robinson? Vikings head coach Kevin O'Connell told reporters that Jordan Addison has a, quote, pretty significant soreness in his right ankle. Apparently it's a different injury than he had sustained earlier in the preseason, which had kept him out most of the preseason. Jalen Naylor caught a touchdown in week 1. He will be filling in primarily, although there might be split snaps. We'll end up seeing how that goes. We'll track practice reports. I wouldn't expect Addison to play in week number 2. Then we have Malik Willis is going to start for the Green Bay Packers. If Jordan Love can't go, they're not putting Jordan Love on injured reserve as of yet, but realistically, he'll maybe a return in week 4 or 5 for Jordan Love. He might push it and try to return in week 3. If that's the case, his ability to re-aggravate and re-injure himself with that knee is very high. Listen, you might have to bite the bullet, go with Malik Willis, sign Ryan Tannehill, whatever it might be. Just make sure that Love is healthy and not at exposure for re-aggravation when he comes back. But I would anticipate week 4 at the earliest for Jordan Love to be at full health. If he presses in week 3, I'm probably not going to play him anyway. So the Harbaugh brothers are having some fun here. John Harbaugh declined to answer why Lamar Jackson isn't practicing, saying, hey, you'll have to look at the injury report on Wednesday. I have no idea what that means. He might have had a nap instead of practicing on Monday. And then the Chargers were told that they had to put Justin Herbert on the injury report. Why? I don't know. Doesn't say yet. So Harbaugh brothers playing some games with their quarterbacks. I think that they're both going to be fine, so I wouldn't really worry about it too much. And then Kadarius Toney signed with the Browns. Maybe to play quarterback. I don't know. I don't think we should really care about this. But there was another civil lawsuit filed against Deshaun Watson on Monday as well. So things are just continuing to get worse for him. The only Brown that you can really start right now, I think, is Jerome Ford. Maybe Amari Cooper if you're really hurting. But I do like the Browns to cover the spread this week. I like them to bounce back against the Jags, but I don't expect their offense to be full throttle and scoring 40 points. So the running backs and the best receiver that they have are probably the 2 guys that you want. That was the short info, the long-term version of the show and a recap of the week and all the fantasy breakdown. You can find some of that in the newsletter and the show I did with Jake Seeley on Monday. You'll see me again on the long-form Pat Mayo experience very late on Tuesday evening with the Spread Pick show. Then I'll be re-upping again if there is more injury news tomorrow morning for you. All right? I'm Pat Mayo. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.
Pat Mayo Experience! Experience!